Well, Paul, afternoons like that probably don't do much good for the nerves, but just couldn't break through in the end.
No, I think we created more than enough chances to win 2 or 3 games. That's the disappointment in there. Kept a clean sheet, good news. See, Ebbsfleet drew and Maidstone drew, and we've drawn. So it's another Saturday ticked off. I think there's 11 for us to go, 11 games to go, and we're still in a great position. But I think not sure Ross had a save to make, did he, the whole game?
Just the one from Dale Grubb, just after.
I can't remember that. I mean, at the end of the day, it takes 2 teams to want to play a football match, and I thought Western have just come and sat 11 men behind the ball. We created 10 chances in that game, good chances, and there'll be a few in that dressing room tonight disappointed they haven't got hat tricks. Tom Bolinaro had 3 chances in about 4 minutes, I think. But we can't be critical. They were top scorers in this league, and it wasn't a lack of performance. It was just a bit of luck at the end of the day.
Do you ever get the feeling when you're on the bench it's one of those days?
Yeah. I thought that, funny enough, and it's not in hindsight. When Simon's header hasn't gone in from 4 yards out, before that Fitchard's had a chance from 3 yards out, and then just after that Ryan Burge, who's put those away in the previous 2 games. So that's 3 big chances in that first half in the space of about 5 minutes. And I started to get a little bit uneasy because it didn't look as though it was going to be a good afternoon in terms of how they were trying to play and how Western was set up. It wasn't to come and play a game of football. It was to see if they could time waste and get a 0-0 draw, which in their position I don't understand. I've got to be honest. They need wins, but like I say, it does need 2 teams to want to try and play football, and there was only one out there trying today.
And changing things around in the second half, early change.
Well, they were so boring, Western. By only having 1 up front, that we decided to go and put 3 at the back, which is unusual for us. Allowed us to get 3 lads up top. I thought we dominated second half. And again, as I said, we had a spell, I think of a 15-minute spell. I think I could probably create six clear-cut chances. So we created enough chances. We haven't finished them today. And you've seen one team, as I said, trying to win a match, and you've seen one team ball the socks, I think, off the whole crowd, really.
And as you say, it's sort of one game nearer to the end of the season, with all 3 sides at the top having drawn, and everybody below them having lost. Yeah,
this is becoming a 3-horse race. There's no doubt in my mind after today. Ebbsfleet was so far in front, they were uncatchable. They're not now uncatchable. And it was going to take to sort of 10 games to go for me to sort of publicly come out and say it. But we've got a good chance. Maidstone have definitely got a good chance, and Ebbsfleet have still got a good chance. But it reminds me a lot of Bromley. when they had that run 2 years ago, they were so far in front, and they eventually got caught by Eastleigh and actually by ourselves. And as I said, I definitely think this is a 3-horse title race. Ebbsfleet, bookmakers' favourite, and rightly so. But they've given us a chance, and perhaps they shouldn't have done.
And after Tuesday, 3 away games on the trot in the next week.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, as I said, I was bored out there watching Western today. A lot of teams come here and do that to us. They just sit in, don't try and win the game. Delighted that they've got a point. I would suspect Gosport and Wealdstone and Truro to be more attacking against us and to have a better game of football. It's disappointing, as I said, sometimes at home when you don't get to breach those sorts of defences. But we've got some tough games, haven't we? We've got 5 really tough away games, and I think that will probably define at the end where we end up. But my first thing, as I said to you, was let's get in the playoffs. I think 68 to 70 is going to do that. We probably need 11 more points to get in the playoffs, which we'll do. And I fancy us really one way or the other.
And before that, Surrey Senior Cup against Godalming on Tuesday. Another chance for the squad players and youngsters.
I'm going to Western to watch the Maidstone game. There'll be some first team players playing, 3 or 4 that were on the bench today. But in the main, again, it'll be Sam Doswells and Tommy Wrights, and Rion will play, Dinnan will play. But I can't take the Surrey Senior Cup very seriously, Tony. I've got to be honest. I'm being told the final will be played the Wednesday before the Oxford City game, which that to me just reflects the competition's values at the moment for me. And I think the last crowd here was 127, wasn't it, for the last game? It's a competition that isn't figuring very highly in my thoughts. But I appreciate to 8 home people at the club. It's important. The game Tuesday, and we'll try and win the game. But my only concern at the moment has got to be going down to Western. You know, it's a long trip. Go and watch the Maidstone. We haven't seen them enough yet. I don't know enough about Maidstone, and I think that's going to be another brilliant game on April the 5th. What the Senior Cup has done is given the likes of Rion and one or two others that are in the 18s that are decent and are training with us the chance to to keep shining. And wouldn't it be lovely if they could get through? But it will be their final again. It's not even if we get through to the final, it will be their final because, as I said, in their wisdom, Surrey have decided we'll play it 3 days before our last game of the season. And if we're in the playoffs, they've decided we'll play it, I think, 3 days after the playoffs. So, if we didn't win the playoffs, you can imagine how much we want to play that game as well. It's just, it's a competition that needs a long look at. I can't play Jamie Slabber because he's got to be registered 28 days before the semi-final. Now, you can even play in a World Cup final, I think, within 7. You can certainly play in a Conference South within 24 hours, but I cannot play Jamie Slabber, who needs a game. I can't play Ryan Bird, who wants to play, because apparently you can't sign them 28 days before the semi-final. So, what's the point?
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Tom.